Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. Okay, so I do a lot of locks and keys, and one of the mundane sort of tasks I have is like keying up different types of cylinders. And this particular type of cylinder, I have keyed them up and done similar tasks in the past, but I thought I might just show you some of the day-to-day sort of stuff that goes over my bench. So what we have here is Multilock, and what I'm going to be doing today, that's a dodgy cylinder, that one, I'm going to be actually building a new cylinder. Now this cylinder here is what we call a PD cylinder. Other people call it an 8.0 something 2 cylinder. Basically it's a knob or lever cylinder, PD cylinder, like that. This one comes with a tail. I'm going to cut it down on site to suit, and basically it's going to go in place in a knob set or a lever set and just replace the cylinder. So I'm going to key this up. Where's the pick? Same way I do all the others. The only difference is it's multi-lock. Multi-lock interactive, so we have inner and outer pins and even a few little side pins there as well. So that's what takes a little bit more time, makes it a little bit more time consuming. With multi-lock too, if you don't have the key to pull it apart, you're in trouble. As where with normal locks you just pick them, and with multi-lock you actually need the pull apart key or the current key which works the cylinder, otherwise you can't get it apart. Another thing with multi-lock is if you pull it out on the wrong angle, if you pull it out at 90 degrees, you put your key in, you turn it 90 degrees, pull it out, the actual plug will jam up into some of the holes and things that are in it. As you can see, those holes along the side, if you pull it out, basically, yeah, you can lose a whole cylinder that way sometimes. Alright, so as different to normal repinning, all of these pins I will actually be remeasuring and reusing, because multi-lock pins are expensive. You can see my pinning kit there, that was the better part of $2 or more, and I'm still using it, it still works, but they're expensive. So as with normal pins, we just flick them, throw them. Prime example, because they're cheaper. These ones, not so cheap. Then I've got my card here. Now I'm going to use this to gauge my inner pins, outer pins, and all that sort of stuff. These keys have a floating element, so the second chamber is dedicated to the floating element, so I already know that that code is right. I don't need to mess with that. You get a variety of pins just standard with the cylinder, so I'll put that one in. That's what they call an outer pin. The reason they call it an outer pin, because it's a pin with a big hole in it. That's the thing about multi-lock, it's different to your conventional pins, which are a solid cylinder. These ones are a cylinder with a hole in it, with these little pins that go through the middle. So you've got basically two pins in one, which makes it superior. The floating element also makes it superior. So it's a real mongrel to pick. In actual fact, in all my time, I haven't really picked that many. I picked a couple of easy ones, that's about it. Mainly because lock picking and this type of lock picking takes a lot of time, and I don't have the best of tools to do it. Like, there are some new tools out there, but I don't have them. I did reach out to those sellers, I think of the rotor tool. He didn't want a bar of it, didn't want to sell it to me cheap, didn't want to do anything, so I never ended up buying a good picking tool for this. Reason being is because I just replace the cylinder. If something happens, I just put a drill through it and replace it, or swap it out, replace it. That's my method of operation. But as far as sitting there and picking it, no, it's just not enough time in the day. Okay, so I'm loading up my outer. Let's go for my inner now. Yep. And we need another. So with these pins too, just because they've got inner and outer pins doesn't mean they can't be master keyed. And just because the inner pin is like 1 mil wide doesn't mean that you can't be master keyed. There's multiple ways to master key it, and they have different techniques compared to other general standard pin tumbler locks, which makes it unique again. Okay, so there we are there, that's loaded up. I'm going to grab my key, and now I'm going to test it. So there's a sample of the key. And what also is different to multi-lock, for all those lock enthusiasts out there, why is that pin not sliding down, is that the keys work on a tip stop. So which means that if I was to push the key too far forward, all my pins would be raised. If I was to pull it too far back, they'd be low. So basically a lot of keys, your standard key, they work on a shoulder. That's the part there where it hits the front of the plug and aligns. With multi-lock, they align at the back. So a little bit different. a little bit different. They also come with a mystery ball bearing. I guess it's just to make it harder to drill. Actually, we won't need that ball bearing because we're putting in something different on these. We're going to load it up with side pins. A lot of the time they're not used, but in this case I'm going to use them. It's a nice sunny day, why not put in side pins? So not only do we have the 5 inner 5 outer, which includes a floating element. The right pin, yep. We'll throw in some side pins there too. Okay, so we've loaded up that side, that side, that side. I'll take my mystery ball bearing and put it back in the kit, along with any unused pins, because they're all brand new, because these cylinders come keyed up to a service key. I've checked it with my key to make sure I can pull it apart again. Okay, we are good. Need to throw in a retainer, springs in, good. And we want to go, I'm going to rotate this so it's a vertical tail. Now this actual tail has a special, see that round bit? It's for the tip stop. Critical. So when you have a multi-lock cylinder, some of the things you don't want to do, don't ever fill it full of graphite. It's got a special lubricant. The next thing you don't ever want to do is use your key as a screwdriver, prise bar, or anything like that. That's definitely how you could wreck this high security type system. Well, you won't wreck it, you just wreck your key and then you'll be stuck and you'll be locked outside. So although it's high in security, some things about it make it, how do you say, a little bit temperamental because it's so high in security, the parts are so precise. As we're compared to some of the other cylinders where you could file it, knurl it, give it a bit of tolerance. These are not the type that, you know, basically want tolerance. Okay, what's happening there? Checking I got the right key. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Something not working. The only thing I didn't check was the side pins. Alright, now the challenge. Can we get this open? Can we get this open? I need something to hit it. Where's my block of finger? There we go. We have cracked it. Let's see what's going on now. Do we just have a sticky pin or something? Alright, all our keying is pushing them all down, yeah. Floating element, good. Actually looks alright. I have noticed that with some of the multi-lock that sometimes on the first turn I do need a little bit of a crack to get going. Okay, working now. Alright, could just be the side pins that are, yeah. It's just the, how do you say, settling in. It's just settling in. Feels like it wouldn't work, but it could just be the parts all pushing down. Tails in. Special expensive lubrication through the speed holes in the side. Let's throw the key in. Still, we've got something that's not quite right. Yep. Yeah, so it does take a little bit longer to key this stuff up. It is more touchy. I mean, it just turned nicely then, but I'm not going to take the chance. I think I've got a sluggy pin on the first. So I'm just going to dump that pin and I'm going to throw a brand new one in there just to make sure. Even the pins, they're like got a spool head on one side. Three. So replace the first pin there. I don't know why it was a bit sluggy. There's a lot of engineering going in on these little things, and they're super hard to get back in because you've got ripples on the plug. There we go, much better. I don't know why that pin was slightly sluggy. Maybe there's a burr on it, maybe something was amiss, I don't know. All of these are keyed up to code. It's not like you're just getting the one that fits. All of them are absolutely precise. That's why it's high security. Key goes in, key comes out, key goes in. Still getting a little click. It could also be my key as well. I can see a little bit of a push down there. These keys are old. Good thing about Multilock is you've got the key pattern on one side and the other side, just like a double-sided car key. Double-sided convenience key, they call them. Alright, I'm getting a click on that side. A click on that side. Check if I've got bad pins here. Putting it upside down, working good.